I wanted to do a quick review of the tent I used on my backpacking trip. It is the Big Agnes UL Tiger Wall, and it served me well. I traded in my Happy Hooligan before the trip for this model. I went with this model. I was going back and forth between the Z-Packs Duplex and this tent. I decided to go with this tent because I wanted something a little less technical and easier to set up, and it's semi-freestanding, and with a hiking pole you can make it freestanding without needing rocks, or if you get in situations where you're dealing with a rocky platform or sand where the tent stakes do not work well. I figured this tent might serve multiple purposes for that. Now, granted, Z-Packs also has a kit that makes it a freestanding model, but in the end, I eventually went with this model. I figured it would serve my purposes for me, and when I'm tired from hiking, fairly easy to set up in a quick manner. Nothing against Z-Packs at all, but just something I fell into and then decided to get at REI. And being with REI, they have a fantastic return policy, so that helps as well. So anyways, this is it. I'm going to set it up here. It's going to start raining here shortly, so bear with me and let you know what this is all about. If you notice, I have it folded up such that I can lay it out fairly quickly. First, got the rainfly underneath. I've got the ground cover, which I purchased with the tent. It's made for the tent. And then, of course, the internal shell of the tent itself. I'll show you how to stake it out, and then I'll show you how to put up the poles. Okay, as you can see, fairly easy. Deck poles go together. Got a cross member up here, and real simple, you just stick each end. This is the head of the tent. Poles go through the straps for both the ground cover and the tent itself. On the back, on the front, you got a metal or a middle piece, and it goes into there as well. Next step is to stake it out. Now, if you notice, this is all you really need if you want to be freestanding. Now, what if you don't have good enough purchase on the ground being too sandy, loose, or too hard, rocky? One is you could stretch out the front end of the tent here using rocks, or you could use your hiking pole. And I've done that as an experiment. I don't have my hiking poles with me today. I have returned them looking to purchase a new set. But what you would do is take your hiking pole, loop one end around this end, bring it across the bar here, loop it around this end, stretch it out to stretch out your foot box. Now you have pretty much a freestanding tent. So let's go ahead and finish up the rainfly. Get that hooked up to the structure. And there you go. Tent is set up. Really easy to put up. No muss, no fuss. You notice that this tent does have entrances and with rainfly vestibules on both sides. If you look internally into this, it is classified as a two-person tent. That is very close. Very tight for two people, but doable. So when me and the wife go out on backpacking trips, we'll both be able to fit in here. And then what we'll have to do is put our sleeping or our backpacks and equipment out here in the vestibules. And I'll show you what that looks like once I set up the rainfly. So that's the rudimentary setup of the rainfly. You notice it's real simple. Color coordinated straps. Buckle there into the tent. Buckle there into the tent. Attach your lines to the tent stake here. Buckle in here, which is made of the same color. Attach your line here. Last thing to do for now, let's get these vestibules pulled out. And you can see, as I pull out these vestibules, how big that is. That gives you quite a bit of purchase. So we got the vestibule on this side where you can store your pack up under here, other items. And you got a second one on this side. So what makes this design very nice is you don't have the need in the middle of the night to crawl over each other. Each person in this two-man tent has their own exit and entry and place to store their gear. Now I'm going to open up the vestibule, and also what I didn't show you, there's multiple cords. There's some guidelines on the front over there. There's a couple in the back. So for windy conditions, you can actually stake this down even more. This tent comes with 8 stakes, and you can really cinch this thing down. What I'm going to do is open up and go inside and tell you some of the pros and cons I had with this while taking this out backpacking trip. You'll notice here it's got a nice cover over the zipper keeping the rain out. So it's got a cord that you can draw from inside or outside. Unzip it. It's also got Velcro stickies. You can bring this all the way around if you want to. And then all you have to do to open it up is unhook it from the tent stake and then roll it back. And there is a little piece here where you can kind of hold it back if you want to, with a little clip. And now you got your inside of your tent. Now, the opening to the tent itself, you've got 2 zippers. One at the bottom, and one that goes across the top here, which makes it real convenient for getting in and out. Notice this came undone. This is one of the flaws I see with the tent. I want to mention this. Trying to pull this back, kept coming down on me, just like that. So, bear with me as the wind blows. Good wind coming in. Unzip the top. Let's see how far it goes. See how far you can get in there? And now, inside the tent. Very nice. Now, flaws. Like I mentioned, this thing keeps wanting to dump down. The other problem is you have to be very careful. When it's raining out and you open up this vestibule door, it has a tendency to drop inside. And guess where all the water goes? It runs right down inside your bathtub. So that's another flaw with this. So you have to be very careful when you unzip this and it's raining. Make sure you shake it off. Keep it outside the base of the tent. And carry a towel with you in case someone gets in there and you can wipe it up and clean it up. So now it's really starting to pick up the wind. The rain is starting to come in. I'll show you quickly what the inside looks like. But overall impressions, fantastic tent on the trail. Now I didn't have any strong winds. This will be a test for this in the strong wind. I probably should guy out the lines here. and let it sit overnight. Held up in the with ice on this very thin rain fly. Had a ton of ice on it when I woke up in the morning from my backpacking trip. Didn't seem to impact it at all. We had heavy rain throughout the whole night. From the time we went to bed until we woke up in the morning, just downpoured continuously. Never got wet on the inside. The only problem I had was condensation, and that was because there was no wind coming through because we were surrounded by trees. And so we had the condensation with all that heavy humidity, the fog, and the heavy rain. But it dried out fairly quickly, and the next night I had no problem. So it was a fantastic tent. So highly recommend it. I hope you find this review helpful. And that's it for the Big Agnes Tiger Wall UL tent. You probably can't tell, but it is raining out here just slightly coming down. Hear the water coming down the gutters. And it's a little bit wet, so I'll show you what I mean about be careful with the vestibule when it's wet out and you want to unzip it. You'll notice here the water running down. So let's go ahead and break into this thing. You have to be careful with the zipper as well because it likes to pinch this material, so you got to be real careful when you unzip it. So right now, I kept this tied out to the stake to keep it from dropping inside the tent. So now I want to be careful, make sure I bring this back and so it doesn't drop into the footwell. Now, here's another thing I want to show you. Thermarest Z seat, or the butt pad. Nice if the ground happens to be wet, which it isn't right here, it's kind of dry. But you could use it to kneel on to get inside your tent. Love this thing. Alright, so let's go inside and check out the inside interior. After it's been raining, you'll notice it is bone dry in here. Not an issue whatsoever. Pretty low frills in here, not much going on. You do have, where at the head where you sleep, do have this little pocket here, and you got these little ports if you want to stick your phone in here or other device and run out some headphones. So not much going on there. Also at the head you've got a pocket on both sides near the door. Fairly small, not that big. Well, a little storage area for other stuff to keep it off the tent floor, keep from rolling over it. Above, there was really nothing up here, except for a couple of loops. You got a loop here at the head. Turn around to the side. Got a loop here above the door on both sides. Right here, I'm sorry, right here. So you can hang stuff from above, like maybe your headlamp to give you some light, or maybe you want to hang some clothes if you're trying to dry stuff off, or basically try to keep it off of your off the floor. You got another one in the middle here, got another one down here, and that's it for storage. So you got several loops you can hang stuff from within this tent. You got two pockets and the big pocket above back here. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this tent. So you can see here, I don't have this stretched out to the full width. I can rearrange that, but if you look, you got quite a bit of room down here. The floor is very thin. That's why you need a footprint. So I suggest if you do not buy the footprint that comes with the tent, like I did, get some Tyvek and cut it to size, because you're going to need protection from anything poking through. This is pretty lightweight material. But that's it, folks. So if I show you kind of laying down in here, you can see, and if I lay down, there's my feet, and that's at the very end of the tent. But if you turn around, kind of look here, I got some room above my head. Not much, but enough. And I am 6 feet tall. Now, when I slept in it, I had absolutely no issues whatsoever with room. But if you look to the side of me here, there is room for 2 blow-up air mattresses. Be real comfy with your partner, which will be my wife. And, you know, you're going to be comfortable in here. You're going to be tight. So this is not one of the roomier tents, but it will serve 2 people. And like I said, from a vestibule perspective, if you look on the outside here, you will be able to store stuff in this fairly good sized vestibule. So that's it. That's the review of this tent. I hope you like it, and happy hiking.